Good morning. It is Friday, October 22nd, and we had our first frost. Finally, it's really late. Could have had frost anytime really over the last month. So I'm going to need to kind of wrap up the garden now officially. I'm going to show you around and show you what I still need to do for the end of the season. And then I'm going to let it warm up a little bit, and then I'll come out here and deal with everything. So the little cosmos are quite sad, pretty frozen. They may perk up a little bit as it warms up this afternoon. I was hoping more of those would go to seed to collect seeds from, but it just hasn't happened. I do have videos yet to be posted kind of talking about everything that I have dug up from in this garden, because I dug up a lot of stuff to take to my new garden space, so that I have starts of pretty much everything. Now this wasn't a super hard frost, so I'm not really, like, it wasn't a killing frost, but now that it is going to be frosting at night, I'm sure it's going to be happening more regularly. There's a lot of things I'm going to want to pull up. I'm going to want to harvest my sage and my rosemary, some oregano, some parsley. We'll see how that does. That might be a little too frosted at this point, but these are frozen. Can you hear it? Poor little cosmos. I have carrots in the ground still. All the green in there is carrots, which carrots are great. They get a couple frosts and it actually makes them sweeter. The green stalk I just need to dump out. We built the thing and then everything went, chaotic, and I just wasn't watering it, so everything pretty much died in it. There are some little baby carrots growing in here, but not enough that it's even gonna be worth it. I just need to dump it. See, look, even a little bit of ice in the top. I'm just gonna need to dump it, and then I can take that to my next garden space to use next year and hopefully take better care of it. I've been waiting for the frost to kill back the dahlias a bit, because I kind of want a lot of this energy to go back into the tubers before I dig them up and harvest them, but then those pots will get flipped over and taken care of. My cabbages I kind of left out here because they were just really small. They had a really hard year with how hot and dry it was. They just didn't grow like they should have. So they just are what they are. I do need to get my pumpkins harvested now. A few over there are jack-o'-lantern type, and these ones are more for pie making. There are a few more delicata squash. These cucamelon vines I would like to dig up, because supposedly you can overwinter the tubers from these. And I wasn't a huge fan of the cucamelons, but the kids really did like them, and they're a slow start, so if I can overwinter the tubers and have them going better next year, that would be great. Sweet potato vines are all through here. That's what this mess is. Again, I was just kind of waiting for a frost to kill it back a little bit, and then I have a bunch of teeny tiny baby delicata squash left that I will harvest and take into the house as well. My little morning glory arch. It did look cool. Now it's just all a hot mess. I pulled up all my things that the peppers were in. I got all of my iris rhizomes and the lily bulbs pulled up. I still have to do my row of gladiolas, which again, I was just waiting for a frost to come through and kind of kill those back a little bit, and then I will dig them up. A lot of my zinnias did not go to seed, which I'm kind of bummed about. There's some, but just, I was hoping to collect a lot of zinnia seeds, and it looks like I'm going to be buying more next year than anything else. I have all of my dried beans harvested. I do have Brussels sprouts growing, which I pointed out to my mom. I was like, I have Brussels sprouts growing, but they're so small. And she goes, oh, you're supposed to snap the leaves off like that. as it's going, because then it'll put more energy into the Brussels sprout. Obviously too late this year. I will harvest those and probably have them for dinner tonight because they're teeny tiny. And now I know for next year I need to snap the leaves off. Still have broccoli. The broccoli plants literally produced all summer, which was really fun, and they're still really tasty, so I might harvest a few of those little heads. But everything, I mean, the garden's pretty much done. It's obviously very overgrown with weeds and grasses and everything, and because I'm not going to be here, I don't really see a point in weeding all of this, especially because I don't know if whoever buys the property is going to keep this as a garden or if they're going to turn it back into lawn. So that would be hours and hours of work for no reason. But yeah, I'm guessing the cabbages and kale and such I'm just going to be feeding to the chickens, and I will harvest what I can out of here. But I don't know, this might be the final garden tour. I know I have some leeks over here and some onions yet, but I'm not quite sure how those do. Oh, well, the leeks look fine. And there's onions underground that had started sprouting again because I left them too long, so I may just leave them because they were tiny. So we will see, but that's it. It looks crazy, but a lot has been done. I'm actually really happy to have had this frost, and now I can just kind of start moving on and completely wrapping up this garden for forever. All right, here is what I harvested for today. I did pick a few dahlias that didn't look too beat up by the frost and put them in the house for my last bouquet of the year, but I've got my herbs, a few squashes, some cucumbers, some cabbages, even though they're pretty small. And then my pumpkins. Some of these were supposed to be jack-o'-lanterns and they just didn't grow very well. I probably did not fertilize or water them enough. Oh well. I've left out carrots, leeks, and Brussels sprouts, which I will be able to pick those for a while yet, so those can just stay where they are. But that's really my last big harvest from the garden this year.